This conference will now be recorded.
So just ask you regarding Twitter, how many of you have an account and how often do you use Twitter? Okay, Chandana said it's not too often. Yeah, it's more, most of us, it's a similar pattern. So we will be having an account, but might not be that active. And there's a reason, we'll cover that as well. Okay, let's start the topic. Yeah, you'll be getting 2 days, that's going to be Saturday and Sunday. Even Monday, we'll have a class, and probably Tuesday, you'll have an exam. Okay, let's start with today's class. So Twitter, and so yeah, just one out of the 18 participants say that you have an account. I'm sure most of you are familiar and you'll be following it. And we also see why reason that most of us are not that involved in using Twitter as much as we use Instagram or Facebook. But it's still a great platform to watch. And if you're familiar what's currently happening, the buzz which is going on right now with Elon Musk and Twitter. So by that itself, you should understand the scale of this social media. So Elon Musk, one of the richest and most influential people in the world, was wants now to, um, you know, buy the shares of Twitter and also literally get the entire access. On Monday is the last class, so that last class we can get two more. Okay, Nishka, we'll see about that. But I've been instructed you'll be having your exam on Tuesday. I'll reconfirm. And yeah, Monday should be the session where we'll be discussing the rest of the things, which give you some clarity. Don't worry about the exams. It's not going to be that difficult. Tuesday also works. Okay. All right. So there's this. I'll continue the topic. So there's a huge buzz right now, where Elon Musk wants to get his hands on Twitter. One, this being a platform where people, it's a platform of opinions where each one have the free speech and they want to share something in their mind and they want to share it with the world. This is one place, and even when we go through the further slides, where you'll be seeing why this came into existence and what kind of social media platform is it that uh, it's gotten so much traffic and people are always using it. And the pattern, see, it might not be that, it might not have much of traction in India, but globally, this is one of the strongest and most influential platforms. Even during times of any natural calamities or something, even during the war, what's happening right now, people are putting their point of view, like it was a free speech, and they can express what they feel. Okay, just before we go ahead, the mascot. Each like we were doing a logo or something. So where Twitter is represented by this bird which we always see. So tweet in Facebook we have post. Here it says tweet. Correct. So any idea what's this bird called? The bird what you see on the Twitter icon. Any of you have an idea what it's called? Just a general question. No, no idea. Okay, it's called Larry. So it's been named after an NBA player, which one of the founders is a big fan of. Okay, so that's the bird, and that's the icon which depicts Twitter. So about Twitter. So it was created on a very casual location when there are group of friends coming together with an idea to create a platform. So you should be knowing by this time Facebook was already there, creating the buzz in the social network. I mean, on the internet. So I think this came in a little 2 years or something after Facebook. So it was a group of people who had an idea. They wanted a platform where they could share their opinions as it was in their mind. So there's no thinking about it. There's no second process. So here, as you see the second point, Don Segalo says the group went on top of slide at a playground in South Park, San Francisco, and Jack Dorsey, who's the current CEO, discussed and idea so simple that you don't even think about it, you just try. So that's how we've been seeing a lot of even arguments being brought up, some people's opinion not totally accepted, and that itself is becoming a big point of discussions. You would have seen that they share the screenshots of Twitter, the tweets, what people would have put, and that becomes a big point of discussions. Even the news, these TV channels, news channels, they'll be making use of this. So tweets, when it comes out from very influential people and with the same point of view, there's no holding back. As they think, they shall be sending out the tweets. And that was the whole point and the idea of the founders of Twitter. And that's why it's become such a very influential and a way where there's no interpretation. They themselves, the person who is wants to address the world, can do it in their first point of view. Okay, Twitter didn't send its first tweet until service was 408 days old, and 3 years, 2 months, and 1 day the time it took for first tweet to the billionth tweet. So I think around 350 million tweets a minute. So I think it might be more right now. So that's the level of interaction that is on Twitter. And Twitter won't allow you to follow more than 2,000 people unless you have 2,000 followers. Okay, that's some brief specs about Twitter. And yeah, it's called the SMS of the internet. Um, we did have, and now we use to go from SMS to WhatsApp, but on internet, on the social media platform, this was the easiest and the most direct way you can send across a message. But this is more on a global platform than you sending it to private. But again, this word DM, direct message, which is used in songs and all these lines, DM, it came out because of Twitter at some point. So Twitter was founded 2006. In 2006, just like 2 years after Facebook came in, and CEO is Jack Dorsey. So it's a combination of instant messaging. Instead of blogging, I can say micro blogging and SMS. So they have a character limit. I think 140 was the previous one. Now they have increased to 80 characters. So you can write in um, anything you want to share with the world. See here, it's mostly public. When you think about Twitter, it's not personal. It's going to be public. So what you'll be conveying is your opinion and on a public platform. So Facebook, again, you have a different layout there. You have your friends, but here you have followers. So the terminologies and how it works is a little different. Initially, when Twitter was launched, it was like this, and as they got recognition and it started growing, they switched over to the blue theme what they have right now. Okay, Twitter is not a substitute for Facebook. So this is an entire different platform, and that's why the current ongoing buzz, which I told you about Elon Musk and all this happening. See, this basically Twitter can be, a place where anyone can discuss their opinion. So people come together or put, their thoughts and their what they want to discuss and put it out there is quite free speech. It is monitored to an extent by the algorithms, but moreover, they can express what they feel, and it's right there instantly. There's no someone else waiting for. I mean, like you don't have to give a press release or something. So what comes on the mind, they publish it right away. So the first point there, Facebook, you have friends, but on Twitter you have followers. So Facebook algorithm, its ranking decides who get to see the post you upload. So that's why there's also so much of effort to creating ads and all that. But on Twitter, it's at least for now, it's a little different platform where um, you get to see all the posts if you're following someone. Okay. So Facebook, as I mentioned earlier, it's more personal. You'll be choosing a friend who you follow and all that. Twitter is more of a public oriented platform that you tell your opinion and what you feel to the larger audience here. Yeah, and also it's on Facebook, it's a post, and here it's tweet, and some terminology changes here. For like, it's on Facebook, and favorite is on Twitter. So you share it there, and here retweet. So someone would have tweeted something, and you want to share that, it's called retweet here. Messenger and DM. So you direct message a person, and on Facebook, more or less you have unlimited characters, you can go on, but here you set with certain limit and only within which you can tweet. So on Insta and Facebook, we will be most probably seeing our friends or the people we like to follow who will be posting about breakfast and their daily schedule, what they basically do. And here it's a little different compared to Facebook. It's what's going on through that point of time, and which they want to share it with their followers and that circle. That goes in straight away, and increasingly new stories that arise. Okay, like I told you earlier, in terms, in times of tsunami, a plane crash, or during a game, uh, arrive tweets from people we follow on Twitter. So we're getting updates. And like I was telling you earlier, if we have a Twitter account and we may not be posting much, because see, like the response we get on Twitter and Facebook, I mean, the response we get from Instagram and Facebook, it's not much on Twitter. Like to get more likes or that response is quite less unless you do the same. I think we'll be seeing that those on those lines further down the line. So as long as you like, share, and respond to others' tweets and be part of that kind of conversation, it's less about you and more about others. So if you consider as a bigger picture and be part of it, so you get that is when you shall be getting followers and the responses. See, for example, when someone like Elon Musk says one, puts up a tweet, just any kind of tweet, and this cryptocurrency and whatever is trending right now, what's coming up, this um, virtual currency, it goes up and down just on a tweet. So imagine the possibilities Twitter could have in future. It's a very influential platform, and also where people just share their opinions without much of hesitation. So it's for microblogging, and here you get real-time updates. So if you like someone who like to keep up with the news, what's exactly happening, what's trending, Twitter will be a great platform for that. Okay. Here, when you think about Google, you find what's already happened, but on Twitter, you'll find what's currently happening or what's happening now. So that's the difference. Yeah, Twitter is for the news. I'm sure you're familiar. Arnab Goswami shouting out the hashtags and other people yours just tweeting on it. Okay, so hashtag also was one of the it came into the rise was seen because of Twitter. So why do we use hashtags? It's basically group or have similar topics in one place and opinions are collected. So the minute we look into some hashtag trending hashtags, we'll be seeing who all have contributed to it, who are tweeted. So more tweets, they get a count of it. Yeah. Twitter is for opinions and opinionated people, and it's for public person. So most of them for introverts, they shall not be having great time here, but over time if you get used to it. On the other point, since one is individual and another is if you think about business, you can create a profile to reach out to customers and try helping them if they have any issues. So two perspectives here: one, you as an individual, and two, as a business. So as a business, it's very important for us in point of visibility to be present on all social media platforms. And same goes with Twitter. So here, so you might have a customer who is having an issue with one of the product services he gets from you, and there he goes on tweeting that some issues he be having with the product and service, and if you're not able to address it, so that's one opportunity lost to retain that customer. Also, uh, a chance of losing other customers he might be influencing. So if that is rectified at the earliest, will be better option. So you don't lose much the bigger crowd. Yeah. The next point again, Twitter for customer service. You have big brands out there who are having their Twitter handles. Who, if anyone is having an issue, they respond back to them. They take their information. I'm sure you would have seen this on Facebook as well. And this is quite uh, obvious and seen quite regularly with these service network providers as in Airtel and other platforms where we'll go and tag them and say this is the worst network, you're not giving services. That would have been one of the posts or tweets you'd have seen earlier. So for this, they've come up with the pages where they respond back to them through these pages. Yeah, you have Samsung, the other brands as well, but this is from Samsung Health UK. So official channel for Samsung questions. Make most of Samsung products with our okay. They also want their they're providing tips also if any kind of issues. They're trying to reach out to the customers and resolve it. So just in Feb 2008 2009, so you can see a quite a high a steep rise from 4 lakh 75 to around 70 lakh 38,000. Correct. So that's 32% growth which Twitter has seen. Okay. There's another fact here which says there are more men, 50%, 54% among the top 5% of Twitter users than women. So this compares to all Twitter users, which 53% and men 47%. So here it says mostly the men are on this platform tweeting. Let's close it with that. So brands using Twitter, 67% of Twitter are more likely to buy from brands they follow compared to FB. Again, it depends on how engaged they keep and how often they keep, um, updating their customers, and that interaction is kept. So stats say 67% more of Twitter over Facebook, and 42% of customers learn about product and service via Twitter. So as a social media platform, and in terms of a business owner, or um, you creating a profile for the business apart your individual, how can you push? How can you reach out? So one, see, it's a platform where uh, the filters are quite less, so people go on uh, sharing their opinions as they feel it and straightforward. So from that you can listen and learn. So any issues are coming up, that can be accepted from their end and resolved on the next uh, product launch, or any changes which come henceforth after that. Definitely, you can work on branding. Any social media platform, you can have branding as in a proper page. Go on mentioning, proper page with your profile pic and cover, and also how you reach out to your customers. A good solid brand which gives that customer support. Okay, connect with experts, then competition and offers. Yeah, you'll also be knowing the other people in business and what offers they're providing. So that knowledge of the market is very clear. So updates and press, yeah. So this platform is all about news. So you get to um, get the information much faster. So it says don't ignore Twitter. So Twitter has 310 million monthly active users, almost the same as US population. So I was telling you earlier, around 350 tweets are sent every minute. So before Twitter, they thought about this name, Trend Stalker. One of the early names they considered before they came up with the name Twitter. So a day's worth Twitter post would fill a 10 million page book. So that's the scale and magnitude of tweets and information coming out from various accounts on this platform. So Facebook, Twitter, and New York Times have been blocked in China since 2009. They have their own platforms, and they don't wish. You know about China. They don't want other influences on them. So right now it's not that. Okay, this is the point. Like most of us are doing this. We would be having an account, but the activity would be very less of what we do with Twitter. So 44% of registered Twitter users have never tweeted. Uh, you would have tweeted, but again, not much. But on a bigger picture, they've taken 44% who have created their accounts. They don't consider tweeting and keeping that as a regular activity. Best times to post, it says 12 to 3 p.m. on weekdays, and on weekends 5 to 6 p.m. I mean, on Wednesday, it says 5 to 6 p.m. The busiest days on Twitter. What is it? It's Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday. So in the midweek. So yeah, you can have see, there's no separate account which should be creating. So when you're creating a business account, you can start with the name of the business, or you want to do it on your personal, you can do that as well. Here too, we can create ads. I'll just show you. Okay, a common question which is asked: is it B2B or B2C? What do you think? Is it B2B or B2C, Twitter? Yes. Anyone else? Any other answers apart Manasa? Okay. Yeah. So maybe B2C. Yeah. It's the answer is it's both and a little more than that as well. So it says on Twitter there's nothing B2B or B2C, but the correct answer would be both. It's only thing that heads to head or human to human and birth of Twitter. So see, this is a platform where you interact. I was telling you earlier to get more of the followers and for us to be interested in this, we should be involved in what topics are going right now, what's our conversations are, and more we tweet, more shares, and how involved we are in part of the actual conversation. We over time there are chances of us being followed, and if we make sense to the larger audience. So here it says being human, human values and relationship, and they admire someone who admires them. So the give and take theory of is universal. So also on the top it says 10:1 ratio. So more involved you are on what's actually happening, um, then one point is towards your side. So it's not like any other platform. It takes a lot of involvement here, and mostly human to human. So yeah, both is the correct answer. Both and more actually. So how do we use Twitter generally? Okay, we log into Twitter because of the trend and what's going on, or you can say it as a herd. So everyone is doing. We have a Twitter handle as well, and we follow some celebrities, sports persons, big brands, and few friends of ours. Tweet a thought or random update. Okay, that's what we give it a try. We do it for a couple of days. Then re-log in, check the feed. Disappoints because no one would have favorited a tweet or liked that tweet, and then ends our journey, correct? Or as logging in compared to other social media platforms. So when you see this in a brand perspective, quite similar. But here they log into Twitter because of the other brands who are doing it as well. So they follow some niche players to understand what's exactly happening of same interest. Daily tweet for a week because they're a business, they're not individuals. If they don't tweet, they're questioned on the marketing activity they're doing. So using hashtags. So getting random uh, favorites or very less in number. So disappointment and perishing interest as no ROI. Yeah. So they'll not be getting on terms of business, they'll be pushed to do it, they'll be tweeting. But on a personal account, it's once push, as you saw the previous, right? And the activity slowly goes down because less ROI, return on investment, what you would have spent. Okay, again, it's stressing on being human here. It says it should be more involved. In what ways? Okay, caring, admiring, appreciating, engaging. So finally, what's the right way? It's your way, my way, someone else's way, but the way I use is being human. So for every 10 engagements, favorites, replies, and retweets you do on Twitter, you share one update of yourself. So like I told you, the more involved you are about what's exactly happening, the others' opinions, what's happening in the what's in the bus. And for that, if you put one update, that means you engage, appreciate, and admire 10 times more than your own opinion. Or yeah, you see that. So that's how it will be. You will have better chances of being successful on Twitter. The 10:1 ratio works, or something in these in this line. It's quite easy by now. I'm sure most of you. Yeah, I didn't get your screenshots on Google Ads and rest of it. Yeah. Some of you said weekend. I think 2 weekends have gone by. So it's just for your reference and for you to get familiar. If you have done it, please do share it on the group. Okay. So like I told you earlier, it's very easy for you now as we've done the other social media platforms. So what we'll be doing, of course, one profile pic. You should be having your username or handle. Then the about section, your cover image. Again, any point of time, you have the options. If you have access to other design tools, great. Or if not, Canva is always there for you. You can make use of it. So practice on Canva will really help you. It can be for anything, any kind of creative designing. You can always choose it. Yeah, Twitter name, it should reflect your brand, of course. Stay within 15 character limit. Fewer characters are better. One second, just be online. Okay, you can have it your full name variation. So again, here this goes on here, business name. Okay, see, be it on Facebook or any kind of platforms, when your personal account, that's okay, that's up to you. But as far as you're creating a business profile, just make sure it's in place. So say if the canvas at least around 70 to 80%. Many things to keep in mind is you shall be uploading the image. So don't design it till the corners or edges or the image is then leave some space in the edges. So once you upload, it's clear. And also have in mind we have done YouTube where I was telling you about the safe zone. So that's also in consideration if creating cover images. Don't push your designs or contents, information which is required. Say if you're putting up number or any social media handles or anything which is important for people to see, don't push them in the corners. Keep it in the center. Have this concept of golden ratio. Golden ratio basically means the right text size and image size of whatever you're creating in that. I mean, it can't be taught as you work. You'll be getting it by itself. What should be the text size? What should be the image size? Your logo, the color. You should be as you practice, you will get it by itself. So writing a tweet, there's also this option. I think I'll just quickly switch over. When you're writing tweet, you can also ask for poll. You can uh, keep them engaged through a poll. You can have an image for the tweet. You can have a GIF and even mark a location. So types of tweets we can do usually basically can be a plain text tweet with just the text. Tweet with a URL. Say you want to share a link, you can do that. an image or GIF, tweet with video, and tweet with poll. So these are the options we have. Okay, there's one more thing. I'll just share the screen. 1 minute. Okay, you have this called Tweetdeck. So in this, you'll be having multiple columns. So you can give access to other people here to manage the Twitter handle. I mean, if you have a very big page, or in case you're just another company handling another big client's account. So Tweetdeck will help you to read tweets and all the updates much easier in a column format, and you can also give access to your team. So you can add in accounts, and those will be your teams. You can manage, give them certain roles to work on the profile. So quite similar on your news feed. To the right side, you will be getting the news, what's happening. So the latest one, it says several states make mask mandatory amid surge in COVID-19 cases. So what's exactly happening in the world, and what all the important news is out there. And this in your news feed, you should be having the handles you follow, and also you should be seeing once again. Yeah, you have it here. So here, if you see, it's promoted. So that's an ad which is running there. Yes, you can create ads here as well on Twitter. So another ad, if it says promoted on the bottom of the tweet, so that's a paid one. Apart the handles you follow and people you follow, celebrities, you should also be seeing a lot of promoted paid ads. Okay, quickly before that, I'll just show you Tweetdeck. So you can customize the channels as well. I mean, the columns here as well. You can add in home, notifications, messages, trending. So you have these options. Once you like certain user messages, mentions, activities, scheduled. If you have scheduled any upcoming tweets, you can schedule a tweet here as well. On social media platforms, you have this option where you want to have the information being sent later point of time without your involvement. You can schedule a tweet here. You have lists. Okay, for each you can have separate columns, so that's easier for you to view and your team. So as you see, the profile pick to the bottom here, and above you find accounts. So manage team. So you can add in the team members here using the username and give them access to work on this profile, respond back to any messages or reading ads. They can do it here. Okay, this is Tweetdeck, and how you can get here is tweetdeck.twitter.com, or you can type on, you can search on Google as well. If you look for Tweetdeck or Tweetdeck, you'll be finding this. So it's much easier platform than the actual one which you have visibility in just one or two columns. Here you can have multiple columns. So when you're tweeting also, you can choose the option that everyone can reply, or people you follow, or only people you mention. You put a tweet across and who can reply, you have this option there. At the same time, the internet is a bit slow, but yeah, it's on. So which is your morning go-to beverage, or anything you can ask? Okay, in case uh, you have a product and service which are similar and which would they prefer, and you can have the choices here and the length, how many days you're running this poll for, just to keep your followers and your fans engaged. Similarly, you can, one second. So you can schedule the tweet as well. This we have done earlier on Facebook, quite similar. In case you're not finding time and you want to schedule a tweet, you can set a date and it'll show up on the date you're given them. Okay, this is scheduling. Like I told, you can have video, image, GIF, a poll, and emojis, scheduling the tweet and marking the location, tagging the location. Let's send our Twitter ads. So business settings, start setting up your employee and partner access. Start a campaign. Next. Yeah, see, by now, this should be a very familiar site for you, seeing the way I was telling you earlier as well. Awareness, consideration, conversion. So in terms of awareness, it's about how many, the people you reach out. So that should be your first move when you're running a campaign. So familiarize with the crowd, the people on the net, on the audiences. And then you can think about consideration where you have video views, pre-roll views, then you have app installs. So this is a step where they'll consider taking uh, a step towards the ad or whatever you've created, engagements, followers, and finally is Apr engagement. So let's start with reach here. So by far, this is the most easiest way of creating campaign than other social media platforms we've seen. You saw LinkedIn was quite similar to Facebook, but here it's a little different, but much easier. This you can say, a guided format of when you're creating an ad on Facebook. So when you're not going to left, and it was on the, I mean, when you didn't create an ad through Ad Manager and directly with that preset goals, that's how this will look for you. Quite easy. But again, the concepts are similar. You'll be seeing campaign, ad group, and your actual ad. So start with campaign name. So either you can choose daily budget or total campaign budget. 100 is quite huge. Daily budget of say $5. Again, it goes on how much you're willing to spend. Okay, if you take 10. Start date, and if you set a specific end date, it's gonna end on that particular day. So instantly by default, it's taken the next month. So again, if you have chosen accelerated, that's the exhaustion amount. I mean, how fast your the budget or campaign, campaign budget or your daily budget gets utilized, standard and accelerated. If you keep it accelerated, it will start showing more often, and I mean, it tends to get the budget gets to uh, get exhausted much faster, and it will be shown at one stretch. But if you keep it standard, it'll organize in such a way, some select regular intervals of time, your ads will be displayed. Okay, ad group name. See why it's important to name your ad group and campaign is as you create more campaigns and groups, just to keep track of these campaigns and groups, you should be naming them. Okay, this ad group's total budget, that's optional. You already set it in the earlier as daily budget of $10 there. Okay, you can choose the goal. You want maximum reach or reach with engagement. So the campaign which I chose earlier was reach, so I'll keep it as it is. If you're running it for the first time, keep it automatic bid or target cost. Set a target cost, maintain average. Basically, you can set the bid here based on 1K impressions, so 1,000 impressions. So this is based on impressions here. So frequency cap, which we see, saw this in which we observed in display and YouTube ad. So basically, once it's shown to a viewer, you can add a cap whether you want it to be shown the same day. If it shows once, the next day that shall not be shown to that person, or it can be set per week, per month, as per requirement. So here the idea is about impressions. So to save and not show this, the same person the ad over and over. Now it's quite familiar for you by this point. It's going to ask you about demographics, age, location, and to right, you're getting your estimates. So that dropped. Language is optional, just keep it as an option. Devices. So custom audiences, if you have a preset of audiences, each time you need not go configuring the people, in terms of the age, gender, location is different, age, gender, and the preferences. You don't have to do it each time. So that's the preset of custom audiences. You have the keywords. So relatively to the right side, you'll be getting enriching and add in the keywords, which is aligning with your business category. Interest, follow, look like, movies, TV shows, events. Okay, then you have placement. Where would you like to place these ads on? Home timeline, that's a default option. Profiles, search results. So these are all the locations where your ad is likely to be shown, and you can configure where it is to be shown and not shown. So based on your previous feeds, you can choose that, or you can create a fresh one. This is your primary text. So either you can have a single image or carousel. Those are multiple images which go to the left. And just randomly choose an image. So then your headline. So if you have an app, you can connect to that, or just take a link of a website. You just add in a headline and the URL, so where you plan to take your customers or your audience. So that's how we can create an ad. And once you give in the billing details, and this should be the last step, which will go live. Yeah. So yeah, that's there. Again, we can spend a little more time creating the creator. I've used the existing image which was related to the topic I chose for thumbnail. So then this is how we can run the ad, or you can even choose an existing tweet. If you want to promote, you can do that. Or if you want to run in terms of a proper ad, use a good creative which you can design and add in the headline and text, which we saw earlier on the news feed. Yeah, you see this, Emirates, it's promoted. So they have a headline on the top and creative. And it takes me to the site. Okay, so that's about it. Monday, most probably, we'll be having a session. We'll be discussing certain question answers, which is going to be helpful for your exam. And probably Tuesday, we should be having an exam. Any doubts and clarifications on that, you can ask me. Okay, fine. Uh, so thank you all. We'll meet on Monday. We'll have the session. We'll discuss the certain topics. We'll revise everything once and then discuss. So it'll be easy for you to take the exam on Tuesday. Thank you all.